everybody. Welcome to another episode of Dayton Drama Queens. I'm Josh Stucky.
And I'm Philip Drennen.
And we want to thank Mitosis for the use of the studio that we do this fabulous video podcast in.
They make us look and sound so great.
In downtown Dayton, beautiful downtown Dayton, Ohio. We also want to thank Square One, our underwriting sponsor.
Who also make us look great.
Yeah. They do make us look great. As we get started today, I want to let you know we have a very exciting guest with us. It's Eva Buttacavoli from the Contemporary here in Dayton. We're so excited to have you with us.
Yes, thanks for coming on.
We're really fascinated by the fact that you're in the arcade, which is kind of having a renaissance.
Yeah.
How do you like being in the arcade? Tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Course,
and thanks to Mitosis as well, a longtime great friend of ours.
Yes.
And it's a pleasure to see you both.
Yeah, you too.
And it's a pleasure to be in this space. You want to know why?
Why?
Because this was our home for 16 years before we moved into the arcade.
Yes.
So this very building is a big part of our history.
Yes.
And we like being back here. And we love that Mitosis is, still doing the good work in here.
Yeah.
So moving into the Dayton Arcade, built in the 19.
Yeah.
We just got to take a tour recently of the hotel, the Hilton Garden Inn, which is 92 rooms, and it's maintained. All of the arches and the terrazzo floor and the marble on the walls. It is going to be a stunner.
No idea.
Great.
It's amazing.
Stunner. It's going to be fabulous. So I call us the pioneers of the arcade because we've been in there almost 4 years and working with the developer for about 7. And it just happened to be ready to be saved by this visionary, Bill Strever, about the time when we decided we needed more space than what was in here. So we didn't set out to move immediately. We wanted more funds to do more great things with local and national artists and thought leaders. And when it came down to it, when we interviewed a lot of people and looked if the budget could manage it, the arcade came on board, and we said, we want to move and expand, and moving into and being part of a place that is University of Dayton. And it's not just University of Dayton, it's their entrepreneurial leadership program.
Right, yes.
So it's all these business minds and entrepreneurial minds. That's exciting. And all these tech bros. The Entrepreneur Center was moving in there too. And then the restaurant and retail.
Yeah.
So foot traffic, but really being around the students, the entrepreneurs, and the restaurants and retail, and the 6888 incubator kitchen. So the idea of it being centralized and being morning, noon, night, shop, and we knew the hotel was going to come on board eventually. That's like a new model for an art center.
Okay,
and although for years it would be, we want our freestanding building. That's sort of the, that would be something for an art center, an art museum to aspire to.
Yeah.
Right.
But times have changed, and people have short attention spans, and they want many things to do when they go somewhere.
For sure.
So
Yes.
more and more museums, galleries, art centers are moving into multi-use spaces. So we were a little bit ahead of the curve.
That's
There you go.
But we got a nice incentive from the developer to be the arts anchor of the arcade.
That's awesome.
And, I was walking it. I have my own hard hat.
Oh, that girl.
Yeah, I could have brought that, Josh. I have my own. So, we walked the space, and we got to choose where we wanted our footprint to be, which is really important. Our museum store opens to the rotunda. So that's an entrance point for people that maybe aren't interested nor feel comfortable going into an art center. It's a cute shop, and I always say we paid extra for double doors, meaning, it opens right up into the grand rotunda. And then you want street frontage. So we've got these great, big, gorgeous storefront windows. And we designed it. And I said, I'm not going to build a conference room. I'm not going to build a classroom. I'm not going to build a kitchen, because we have all of those things in the arcade. We're going to make the most space we can to show the art, to show the art. And, so from the get-go, it really was making the art look and feel and the people that make it of the utmost importance. So yeah, I still get chills
It's a beautiful
thinking.
space.
Thank you. It
really
is. Oh, I have to go backwards and say something. Square One takes care of me too. So thank you. So thank you so much.
No, I was going to say, so what is your background? How did you get involved in the arts? Where did that all come from?
I was very lucky when I was young. My father worked for the airlines.
Oh, wow.
And I got to fly. Anybody that remembers those days,
Yeah.
we got to fly a lot. And I loved art and museums. I was one of those little nerdy art kids.
Yeah.
And whenever we would go on trips with my family, which was often because we got to fly, we would always go to museums. My parents were fantastic. Every single place we went, I would go to the museum.
Yeah.
You know,
great.
so I'm a museum person even more than an art person. I just love that.
Okay.
You know, like being in a salon, or you know
Yes,
how
I
some
get
people
it.
really like libraries or bookstores.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That
Yeah.
to me, so it was built around me. So I always worked in art museums, whether I was an intern, a student, etc. And I got a degree in art history, a degree in art education.
Where'd you go
and
to school?
I've always, I am a Florida State girl. And then Florida International University, which our dear friend John Capobianco and I went to school at the same time.
There you go.
And-
I didn't know that.
Oh, but at Florida State, I went to school at the same time as Deion Sanders, so I'm aging myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I know about football too.
Oh, gosh. Is there anything Eva doesn't know?
I know. I was like, Deion Sanders.
So I worked my way up. Do you know who that is?
I do,
Philip?
yes. Well, I was a 90s kid.
Yeah,
That was
okay.
his
There you
heyday.
go.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I just throw that out there because people, I think, don't expect it of me.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't
And I met him.
necessarily put the two of you together. Yeah, sure.
So I always worked at museums. So I worked at museums, you know, started kind of like many people do in their career, you know, from the ground up. And so I've always done it. I've been in nonprofit art centers for 34 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Curating, educating, doing all the jobs. Again, from starting from scratch. So I know how to do all the jobs. I no longer get on the ladder and hang work, you know,
But you still
I
got the
have
hard
been-
hat, just in
I
case.
still have a hard hat, and you know, I have been known to, you know, clean the scratches on the floor before an opening, you know, but yeah.
Got to.
So what
Yeah,
came
you
first?
got
Was
to.
it the job that brought you here, or was it Dayton first and then the co came later?
There's many stories like mine in Dayton, in the Naked in Dayton. It was love. It was love. Fell in love with a Springfield boy.
Yes, we're born on the exact same day.
Yes,
And
my
we were in the
wonderful
same hospital.
husband.
Yes.
It's
It's
really
really
good.
creepy.
Same
It's really
day.
creepy.
It's creepy.
Yes,
Same
but
day. I mean, same day.
Yes.
Same birthday. Yeah. Same.
hospital,
Yeah.
the
Same
whole 9 yards.
hospital in Springfield.
That's crazy.
Whom I met in Austin, Texas, and he's from here. And I would visit often as we were dating, older couple dating. I don't know why I said that, but anyway, we were mature. We were in our 40s, you know, put it that way. Yeah. But you know, I came to Dayton at a really interesting time. Front Street was having a renaissance, which is an artist kind of enclave.
Yes.
I went to Oktoberfest. Was like the first thing that was the first thing I went to. That was fantastic.
That is
I went to
fantastic.
Square One. I went to a Ruby Girls show.
Yay.
I did all these things the first year, and you know, you learn as one does how incredible Dayton
Yeah.
is.
Incredible.
So my husband kept begging me to move here with him because he had moved back to be with his elderly parents. And I was coming from Austin, Texas, so I made a lot of excuses. But every single time I came here, it was just extraordinary.
Yes, yeah, it
And
is.
I got tapped to be the first director of Film Dayton, which was an initiative that was happening at
I
that
did not know
time.
that.
Yeah,
No idea.
yeah.
Okay.
So so that was me. So I worked at Muse Machine and I worked at Film Dayton when I first
Okay.
came here. Yeah. And then DVAC happened, which is the former name of the Contemporary Dayton. It was Dayton Visual Arts Center.
Yeah.
So that's my story.
So speaking of that, and you're talking about the whole Dayton thing. So what do you think it is that brings people to the arts in Dayton so much? What is that?
So that's I love that question. So we talk about how art's rich, and I mean, you all are doing this, and you are in the arts and support the arts. It takes an ecosystem, and that ecosystem, some of it, a big part of it in Dayton, I believe, is the ease of access to the arts. We are free. Yeah. The Ballet Symphony Opera, they do a great job marketing. I mean, the opera did South Pacific. Operas don't do South. I mean, they do all these special things really to make the entry point of the arts really easy and simple. Yes. And I mean, Philip is this, we're so excited Philip lives and works in Dayton because he works all over the country, the world. Yeah. But you make your home here. So access to Philip, hanging out with Philip, seeing Philip at a local production, seeing Philip when he's in New York, but knowing him. So knowing the musicians, knowing the dancers. My husband and I go to the ballet. We know all the dancers. I see them walking down the street. One of them serves coffee to me at Gather. Yeah. So it's having an awareness that that those artists live among us or with us. Yeah. That's a really beautiful thing. Yeah. And then artists also wanting to advance their careers. There are great things that come through, like knowing somebody like Philip or some of the people that we bring through, artists that have loads of experience or different accolades. They come here. We take them to, Sueño. We go to Silver Slipper. We go have drinks at Century Bar. They meet other people. They have a great time, and people get to talk to them and rub shoulders with them and learn from them. So it's the people we have here in the community, but it's also the access. Yeah. You can live in New York and Chicago and LA, which we all love those cities, and we go often, but artists don't have access to as many people easily as we do here, just because it's a great big city, So, and also just because of the times and the internet and the world, it is easier to live in a city outside an arts center. So why not live someplace that has great quality of life, has cheap studio rent, that sort of thing, and go to New York a lot, or Chicago, or Indy, or Pittsburgh, and that sort of thing. Yeah.
That's a really great point.
Yeah, that is. I think that really was insightful for me. I'm like, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
So you've had so many shows come through. I just wondered, do you have some favorites or some that stick out in your mind that you will just probably never, get over those moments?
It is really about the moments. It's about the moments. Okay, because, again, you can think of this too, because both of you are performers, it's those moments. We can have exhibitions. So we work, like many museums do, years in advance, planning our exhibitions. And we also, along with an exhibition, there's an education program. There's all sorts of things. There could be a podcast series. There could be a kids series. So there's all sorts of programs that go along with exhibition, when I just say exhibition. But when we're working with an artist on that production, we always, as a contemporary arts center, everything we present is new and for the first time. So artwork that we show.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So everything is, well, think about it, in your field, a new production, that's, that's a badge of honor to put that out there. Original thinking and original new work that you produce. So it's a big deal in our field as well. So we only show new work. So we do work with artists for a long time before, their work emerges. That was a long way of saying I do have favorites, but more it's the moments, and the moments are having somebody that you admire, that like I study to keep up with the ideas that the artist wants to present, so I'm like running to catch up, and I'm not even the curator, I'm the direct, but I want to, that's the curator's job, and sometimes I curate, but like I study to like feel like I can have insightful conversations with these artists, so they'll be excited about showing at our place, and then I can connect other people in the community to them, and I can speak to that. But there's this natural thing that happens with artists, and I am not an artist myself. Which I always say gives me room in my brain because I don't for other things, or to help artists, because I could never make art. But there's this magical thing that no matter how much I study or how much I set up or how much I articulate what the artist is doing, one artist meets another artist and it's like they speak the same language. And I just,
You got this.
I just step back and and no matter what that happens, and they see each other. I don't want to say level playing field, but they see each other like there's an automatic thing. And to witness that happen, maybe an emerging artist in Dayton or the region that has gone to school, is doing a painting degree, or somebody that's experienced that has moved back, they're in different kind of parts of their career, and then they talk to somebody that either does have a more accomplished career or the opposite. There's always
some kind of connection.
That's some kind of connection.
That's so cool.
I find that in Dayton in general too, is you do have, no matter what field you're in, whether it's artistic or what have you, these people that are just starting their career or just finishing their degrees, and then people like us who have traveled and worked in other places and then came and made Dayton their home later. And to see the gap sort of fill in front of us is really cool.
In front of us, that's a good way to put it. That's something that makes it really unique too, because I do meet a lot of artists that have either working artists or maybe they've played around with having some artistic creation. They move away, they come back for one reason or another, and they want to get to be part of the scene again, and then they flourish. And what we're giving them is the room to flourish.
Right.
It's like, meet this person, go here, do this, and come here, and you'll meet these. So that's something that we can do really well.
So is I'm sure this is a question that people watching will want to know. Is all the art for sale that's at the Contemporary? Is there pieces? How does that work?
Who said this? Everything's for sale, right?
Sure.
For the right price.
Exactly.
Yes, things are for sale. It is not our. Fundraising is my number one priority, unfortunately, to keep our 33-year-old organization running, and it is the hardest part because we believe Dayton deserves a contemporary art center. I mean, we have a voice, and artists and people want it, but yes, things are for sale, but we don't focus on sales.
Right.
We're a nonprofit. We're not a commercial gallery. There's not many commercial galleries, and that sounds like such a bland term. What that means, though, is a business that is in the business of selling a product. So as a nonprofit, we're allowed to, and we do raise funds. You know how we raise a lot of funds? We connect artists with businesses, know this, with businesses and new builds. And we guide them through selecting art or selecting artists to create commissions for their work. And that's a revenue stream for us as we manage it, but it's also a revenue stream for artists.
Makes sense.
So that much more than purchasing things from the gallery or from the shop even is a larger part. So yes, we sell, but we don't focus on it. Our focus is, and sometimes work is not for sale because the artist may be represented by a gallery, so you need to go through the gallery for the sales. Sometimes there's an advantage for us, or if it's more of a emerging artist, then we can work with them for it to be for sale.
And if an individual wanted to do something like that, could they come to you too and say, I've got this big empty wall in my house.
Philip,
can you hook me up with the right person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we fill that gap. There's many gaps, again, when you're an arts organization in a smaller city that doesn't have. I mean, in New York and Chicago, there's dozens of us, of the co, but here there's not as many. So there's pluses and minuses to that. And one of the pluses is we fill those gaps. So we work with individuals all the time. And you can buy, you guys have bought works from we have our fundraiser, which is an auction. So you buy from the auction, and you maybe buy 2 or 3 years in a row, and you're buying, landscape photographs of mountains. And if I know you like that, and then we're getting ready to have an exhibition of landscapes of mountains, not only am I going to ask you to sponsor that for us, but I'm going to call your attention to it.
That makes sense.
So in a way, we still do work a bit like a, that's how a commercial gallery would work.
Okay.
So yes,
if someone
we've got stuff you can buy, and we'll teach you about it, so you buy more.
That's it. It's the education piece.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, how does someone get like in contact with the Contemporary?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we are a small and easy staff. You know, we are friendly, and you know, we like to think of ourselves as warm. So you can walk in and say hi.
Yeah.
But we have a curator. We have myself. We have, everybody knows Sydney King, the beautiful Sydney. She's our curatorial assistant. So you can come by. You can email us. You can call us.
Okay.
And you could say that I just moved into my new condo. I really want local art, or I really want to support my community. Let's go.
Yeah.
University of Dayton, we just did 4 commissions for their new Roger Glass Art Center.
Yeah.
So we've worked with them
Beautiful place.
continuously, so they will come to us.
Yeah.
And then if I'm at a cocktail party and I meet the director of the new Deneau Tower or something, which did happen, it's like, you need local art in that tower. So it happens in all those ways.
Awesome.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it is about elevating the artists, helping them earn a life and a living so they can continue to stay in our community and, you know, and make beautiful things, and for us to get to know them. And, you know, and we're like, it's sort of the DC phenomena, which is we're very well known outside of Dayton and known inside of Dayton. So, so we have that too. So we will have people that visit us that will purchase work, and we'll ship it as well, or come to see exhibitions, or even sponsor or support things that we do, even if they don't live in the community.
Well, listen, thank
So
you
that
so
means
much.
anybody could do it.
Yes,
Yeah,
there you go.
that's
Thank you so much, Eva, for being
Thank
here
you.
with
Thank you,
us.
Eva.
Thanks
What
for
a
letting me
wonderful
talk so
conversation.
much.
Oh, well, that's what
course,
it's all about. It
anytime.
really
No.
is. Eva Buttacavoli, everybody, please visit the Co. Like she was saying, it's in the arcade downtown, which is expanding, and getting better and better every day.
And we have lots of good parties. So
Yes,
just
that's
look
right.
on our website for our upcoming parties.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you again. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
guys next time
See you next
on Dayton
time.
Drama Queens. Bye, everybody.
Bye.